A big pick there for Fabulous. We've also seen him bringing out that KhaZix in the solo lane, which, fair to him, he actually did pretty decently on. Lucian also taking away. Other side, Tristana, Yasuo banned out.
And again, talking about comfort picks, Samson White, target in Italy, Fabulous used it in the wildcard tournament, and he was really, really strong on it. And the team actually worked really well around this Italy pick, put a lot of resources on getting him hit, so won't be an option. Alistar, however, is open for Samson White. Only second time he's not been banned, I believe, maybe third time.
Well, 10 out of 13 games. It says right there at the bottom of the screen for you. 79.
Wow.
76.9.
All right, third time then.
Yeah. So, other side then for Dark Passage. And this is the big question. Do they go for those comfort picks and try to just play their game and hope that they can come out on top of this one? Do they go for something a little bit crazier and high risk, high reward, all in at level 2 as we heard from Double Lift?
Well, nothing crazy just yet. I mean, Lee Sin is their #1 jungle pick for Crystal, so that's definitely a comfort pick here. And also taking away the Ryze. The cool part about Ryze is he's very good in these like skirmish fights, and he's also great in late game team fights. So it is a pick which, if you do manage to get to late game, which obviously is going to be very, very tough against Samson White here, which can do some damage at least.
Well, we'll see what they have learned from yesterday, because this is definitely a big opportunity for them. Teams really, it's hard for them to get scrims against Samson White even.
Right.
But every game that you get to play against them is definitely worthwhile.
I'm really happy to actually lock in Braum here, because during the wildcard tournament, it was the best champion for touch. And him and Holyphoenix down the bottom lane, they were extremely aggressive early on. Doubles, again, he just talked about this level 2 all-in. Braum is one of the best supports to do it on. If you manage to get onto them, land a stun, you have a lot of damage then, and you can actually surprise someone like him.
And if they were to lock in that Jinx as well, you know, that's one of the champions he's definitely comfortable.
Oh, yes.
Talking about comfort picks. Ezreal, though, he does have some good all-in potential as well.
Early on,
or when he gets level 6. A lot of people underestimate the burst that the Ezreal combos can have at level 6. If it doesn't have to go through minions, the ultimate does a tremendous amount of damage.
it's definitely a burst comp here early on from Dark Passage, and they're just gonna try. Surprise in lane, get a kill, maybe get a dragon, and you can start rolling here. Samson White may be looking for some different picks.
Well, if it's Urgot, Gnar, or Teemo, I will buy a hat, because I currently don't have one, and then eat it afterwards. That's not going to happen. It's actually going to be Janna and the Zed locked in here for pawn in the mid lane.
So once again from Samson White, they're not going to have fun in Champ Select here. This is dead serious all along. They want to show how good they are. Because keep in mind, if they can get more perfect games, get more pentakills, I mean, it's going to look great on paper, first of all, but also the teams who's going to face them in the quarterfinals are going to look at these performances and say, this team, they know exactly how to play.
So what is the final pick then for Dark Passage? It'll be for Naru in that mid lane up against Pawn Zed.
Fizz would be great.
And that's the thing about Naru, and we said it before, during Wildcard, he played a different champion every single game, one of which was Fizz, and he locks that in here.
Yeah, so Fizz into Zed is pretty tough early on, but you will outscale him both in one-on-one and also in team fights. I mean, you can dodge his ulti completely with your E on Fizz, and you will always build an hourglass anyway, which works perfect against the Zed here. So as long as he can survive the early stages, which, funny enough, is going to be the hardest part for him and for Dark Passage against Samson White, he will actually be able to outscale.
All able to jump in. So he's going to have to be very quick on that pole to be able to dodge.
And I just have to say, respect to Dark Passage for actually coming in here, bringing some comfort picks, bringing some strong champions for them at least to try and surprise Samson White, and not just pick random champions and try and run around and have fun. I mean, they want to come in here.
We heard rumors that
we
they
did.
were crafting some crazy thing.
But this right here is pretty serious.
The rumor was basically that they closed their door to talk in secret. So I'm not sure.
That's enough.
I'm not sure whether we can gather from that something crazy was about to happen from them. Obviously not this time around. Going with those comfort picks and respect to them. Obviously saying, you know, guys, we can pick a strong team here and hopefully come out on top. But guys, now the players have decided on their champions. Who do you think's going to win? Let us know by tweeting hashtag SSW win or hashtag DP win to @LOL Esports. And we'll check out your votes later on in the game. Actually, Dark Passage has been getting some big percentages despite the fact that they've been losing games. all power to all you guys in Turkey that are watching and supporting your local team right now. But we are going to get into game. It's Samsung White versus Dark Passage. A very, very tough game for Dark Passage, who, well, lost in a perfect game from Samsung White yesterday. And they're obviously just going to come into this one and say, let's show them what we can do.
Right, and yesterday Dark Passage played 2 games. They had EDG, #1 seed from China, of course, and now Samsung White. And they actually managed to hold their own in the laning phase for like the first 10-15 minutes. Were fairly even in CS. There was a lot of action, especially in the bottom lane yesterday against Samsung White here. Nobody died. It took like 16 minutes, I believe, before the first blood. And Samsung White simply just took control of the jungle instead.
Yeah, like we said, the longer you can last in this game, the more that you can take away, the more that you can learn from playing Samsung White. I mean, even the teams that did go over to Korea to boot camp didn't all get scrims with Samsung White to be able to play them. They have to test you out, and you have to prove yourself to be able to get multiple games against them. Dark Passage get another one here.
It's pretty funny actually with the way scrims for Samsung White works, because they will, at least from what we've heard, they will kind of troll in the first game just to see what you're doing once you get the lead and how good you actually are at like closing out the game. And then they kind of test you, and then the next game they just go in there and destroy you.
Yeah, when you request scrims with them, they give you exactly 2 to prove yourself.
And if you're not up to the bar, well, you don't get to play Samsung White.
That was the problem, man. Me and Kobe, we failed.
Yeah,
Do it.
Well, that's again why we have you two guys here, you know. Old school pro players playing your trade now in a different way. That's all good for us. This bottom lane, we already talked about the fact that Holyphoenix and Touch, they may want to be aggressive early on. And look at that, Imp already down to around about half HP with just 1 auto attack away from being stunned up.
And you have the Relic Shield here on Braum, so you just have to fast push early, get the level 2, and just try and jump onto Samsung White.
Exactly. If Ezreal gets Arcane Shift plus Mystic Shot, it is so easy for them to instantly get the Braum passive on a single target. He can do the Q flash from Braum into an auto attack, and then 2 hits from Ezreal. It's going to be procced on somebody.
Only problem is they're kind of losing the push here early on. Their range from Janna and Corki is too much for him to deal with, so they've actually been taking a lot of poke here and won't get the early level 2.
And that mid lane starting to be a problem already for them. We just saw their pawn hitting level 2, going pretty much all in. Didn't use his ignite there. Could have possibly, I think, got that kill, but Touch in the bottom lane going to take a lot of damage as well. That phosphorus bomb just landed onto him into the end, and the way that this is looking, as they burn through all their pots, they might have to be thinking of recalling home soon. I'd say that Crystal almost definitely needs to come down this bottom lane to relieve some pressure.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he is on the bottom side. He did start on his red buff and then just went all the way down. He's actually going to find Bandy here.
Things
just looking at each other.
And Dandy actually going to be there as well. That's a nice little hop over onto his trinket ward just to make sure that he doesn't get caught out. We did see Mata coming up there from that bottom lane. In terms of the early CS, Port's starting to run away with things in the middle, but that's exactly your point in this matchup, that he has to somehow get through this weaker early stage.
I do actually wonder if Crystal is going to pay a lot of attention just on the bottom side, because you just talked about how the bottom lane could be an option because he wants to get Holyphoenix dead. And we have seen Crystal use a lot of time in the bottom lane, especially yesterday. Both games, EDG and Samsung White, he would just sit bottom lane even when his buffs were up.
And he is on Lee Sin. The lane gank is always available to him. But really, I do want to go back over to the... Oh, never mind. He's jumping in for it.
Touch going very aggressive from this one, and Imp actually using an early Valkyrie manages to get away from a lot of the damage that could have come down there out of Dark Passage. And to be honest, they're pretty much tied on CS there, so despite Dark Passage taking a lot of poke in the early stages, doing well to keep up in the farm.
The junglers were mirroring each other too, both heading up topside, but it looks like Crystal heads towards mid, and Fab gets under the turret!
Oh, this is bad news for him. That's a good flash over, but Dandy will follow through. The Rune Prison's not going to be enough, and that is first blood. Crystal came to mid. They didn't get pawned though.
And Fabulous on his top lane, he had one job. Don't get close enough to the tower so the Alistar can flash Q you and then headbutt you back into the tower range. He did so good in the start. He was poking well, he got a lot of farm, and then he just got a little bit too aggressive.
Yeah, he did do a good job of taking advantage of the early range advantage on Alistar, and he bullied Alistar, got him down in CS, and earned enough money at least for his tier on the first back. That's important. If you ever get shoved back without enough money to purchase tier or catalyst, then you have a rough time. It's very cheap to get.
Yes.
So
That's a really bad start. It's basically level 1, you just die instantly and you get absolutely no gold here. So luckily for him, or good enough for him, he can get his tier, go towards the Catalyst.
Something I did want to point out earlier, though, for the mid lane was that Naru, he started with the Cloth 5 start instead of the classic Crystalline flat start for a lot of Fizz players, and it makes it so that he can build really easily into that arm guard. And so now he's stacking towards it very quickly here. Now, the only problem is that he did have to go back to base because you run out of mana without the Crystalline flash.
Exactly, and it took a lot of poke as well. We did see him actually try to all in the mid lane and just, in the end, took too much damage. And another problem, obviously, you want the early armor. You're also going to delay your Sheen, which is going to be like your main damage also early game. But Fabulous, though, he has no flash.
Dandy coming in the back. Will they decide to dive this one? Both of them at level 5 there, and they won't dive that one, but it's going to at least force Fabulous to back away once again. Although, there we see Crystal coming in. Dandy down to less than half. Can they get the Rune Prison? There it is. Comes in range. Can they get the kill? There's the jump over. The Q doesn't land, and Dandy will be able to walk out.
Look at that ward he plays too. He hops over and then slays the ward so that even if the Q's heading at him, he has the time to dodge it.
Naru doing a very good job here in the mid lane trading. He even got the minions with his E and managed to hit Braum at the same time. But he is one level behind. Touch though, want to go aggressive again.
Needs to be careful how aggressive he goes with this one. We see him just trying to dodge around. Has 3 hits there, but that will wear off, so no stun onto him. Holyphoenix going to get exhausted. Imp will be exhausted as well. Matter, be forced to flash away. The slow comes onto touch. He will actually jump off there to his minions. Another phosphorus bomb comes out, and just not quite enough damage to finish off kills.
Oh, Crystal might be in trouble.
Yeah, wise move, I think, there away from those Void Spikes. The slow possibly could have been the end of it.
And down this bottom lane now, no flash for Mata. It opens up for Crystal to move down and go for the gank. A lot of action here. Dark Passage want to fight, same goes to Samson White.
Yeah, concentrating down here, this probably should be a point of focus for the junglers, especially with the Braum Ezreal, so much kill potential there, because Janna, as you said, no flash left, and you don't want to go for Corki anyway. He's got the Valkyrie, still has his flash. Dandy, though, he takes that opportunity. They chased off Crystal, and they're going to take away this red buff here. Should be a pretty easy steal. That was also Crystal's first back, by the way, because there was so much constant skirmishing. Finding the time to return to base to purchase items.
Instant side stone. So want some wards early on here. I mean, he could have gone for like Elder Lizard straight away, or at least try and rush it and just be like really, really strong in these 1-on-1, 2v2 skirmish counter ganks we might see. If he wanted to really try and snowball, he gets some over boots as well. But going with the side stone is a safe way. Want some wards here early on. And
the camp top looks real.
Still no flash.
Dandy and Lupa coming into this one. There is the slow, and he is going to land. The combo comes in from Alistar for Fabulous here. He's going to go down. Rune Prison is not going to be enough for him, and that is kill number 2, both of which have now gone to Dandy. This is good though from Dark Passage, realizing what's happening, going straight to Dragon.
And it's just good timing as well, because the bottom lane from Samson White, they were back in base, so it's going to be a safe Dragon here. Nobody to try and stop them. Dandy actually took the red buff from Dark Passage here, and there were wards from them, so they knew he was in there. And yet Fabulous, because Alistar is so good at diving towers, couldn't really do anything. As long as he doesn't have to flash, so he can't flash the headbutt, you pretty much die.
Mata interrupting both of the recalls there. And if you look at the gold, 1,000 difference basically in favor of Samsung White. Obviously coming from the big farm difference that they have. And of course the couple of kills as well. Ooh, Crystal might get caught out. No, not quite. The Howling Gale too slow to stop Crystal from going back. This mid lane, 68 to 44 CS. Once again, Naru was knocked away, and there are those Turkish fans again coming in strong. 73% the vote for DP.
I don't think it's just Turkish fans, though. There's a lot of people that are fans of the underdogs, and a lot of people from around the world would love to see Dark Passage do well.
It is pretty fun, though, with the way Samson White actually plays these games here. They never really want to be like over-aggressive and just like tower dive you early on. They want to actually play the laning phase fairly safe, and then it's up to Danny to run around and make the plays, or up to Samson White to punish a team like Dark Passage if they make a mistake in the laning phase.
Speaking of that laning phase, Pawn here is doing a great job beating up on Naru early. And they even fed the blue buff over to Pawn on Zed for the extra energy regeneration and cooldown, so that he can continue to shove him into lane and force Fizz to use his pull to actually CS. Because that's his main skill. You're leveling that up, of course. Oh,
Holyphoenix going a bit deep from this one. Phosphorus Bomb comes in. Corki, of course, level 6 here. Didn't have much mana left, though, in the end, is Imp. And that means that Holyphoenix is able to get away. Use Summoner Heal. Actually managed to keep a hold of his flash though, so just that one Summoner spell used on his front. Meanwhile, Fabulous has gone back home once again. Now got that tier and his Catalyst to protect. I'll remember the name in a second. And yeah, come back into lane from that one. Is still ahead slightly in farm despite those 2 deaths.
Look at Dandy here, actually. Might spot Naru once he actually hits the ward. If he's gonna hit it, there we go.
Oh, Fish coming out though, and there is the jump away. Dandy gonna be caught from this, but here comes that Deathmark going down onto Naru. Can he time it properly? No, he can't. A little bit too late on that one, and Pawn will pick up his first kill.
And he was already used here, trying to actually get the kill onto Dandy. He flashed away, Pawn instant reacts, and managed to pick up the kill here and just making it even worse now for Naru in the mid lane. I mean, also just look at the items. He did actually manage to get a Sheen now, which is very huge for him. It's going to be a lot about the Sheen in the early game for a Fizz with the damage. But there's an instant Hex Drinker for Zed. I mean, just making it even harder for Fizz to do anything.
Yeah, you could tell Naru was having second thoughts about going all in on Dandy, even though he caught him in such a good position. Down bottom though, another trade.
Look at him, not scared of getting involved in this one. Touch gonna go low, Howling Gale comes through. Are they gonna dive this one? Holyphoenix is at less than half HP. Touch only had a slither of health remaining. And once again, Imp and Mata, or basically Imp if we're honest, managing to force them both out. And there's a 50 CS lead there for him. He's dominating this bottom lane.
Yeah, it's all about the kills for Dark Passage. I mean, they've already lost on farm, so they just have to keep trying and fighting, but they're falling too far behind. There should be a Trinity Force for him fairly soon as well, and just making him even stronger in these small trades here. I just want to very quickly go back to the point with Naru there. He could actually have killed Dandy if he didn't hit the ward. If just sweeping against the ward, so he deactivated, he could have tried to surprise him, jump in with his E first, then his Q, and fish him once he flashed.
Mata does get away with his life here. Good little roam by Naru. Maybe we'll see more roaming from Naru to try and create something else. You know, sort of shake things up for Dark Passage. As you said, the lanes are very hard for them to salvage at this point. So this is when you start thinking about trying to move people around the map, try and change them up.
Look at the damage coming out from Pawn there though. Oh, down to half HP. Hex Drinker was followed up by a Cutlass here. And big CS lead opening up in that lane. Look at Dandy's waiting off to the side. Deathmark coming down. Nice little dodge from it. But what's going to happen? Wow, Naru flashing over the side. He's going to try and run around, but they're going to keep chasing here.
Crystal's got his back. Let's see if he can get back over this wall. Dandy by himself.
Oh, going in onto it. Crystal going to come around the side. Pawn actually flashed over the wall. Dandy, is he going to fall? Oh, there's the shield. Soon as well. Crystal going over. He gets exhausted. They're both going to go down. Mata picks up that kill. Now Imp moved around the side as well. Holyphoenix in touch with Looper coming around the side. Misses the combo, but there is a Howling Gale. And just like that, 3 kills going over to Samsung White.
And the entire Samsung White team instantly react to the fight here. They all go to the mid lane. Missed it here. Dandy just survived. The shield come in from Mata there as the kick came in from Crystal.
Beautiful.
Stayed alive. But Naru dodging around, dancing around there in the mid lane. That was beautiful.
I have to say, just the way that Samsung White played that fight as well. I mean, Pawn went and took the Q from Crystal so that Dandy survived that as well. Fab should probably get away from this. I don't know, there's flash up for Looper as well.
Zed is coming.
Oh.
Boom. Yeah, Sheen in there, headbutt into auto attack, which of course still in at this stage, making Alistar still so very, very strong. That leaves Samsung White 7-0 of 4,000 gold. Yet to give up a kill or a tower. Looking to replicate that perfect game from yesterday.
Well, Dark Passage already got a dragon. So
that's true.
If we're saying that a perfect game includes no dragons, then yeah. So this is beautiful play by Naru. Pawn wanted to blow his Playful Trickster with the ultimate, but then they didn't expect the flash over the wall. And now he gets into the bush where they already have the ward, waits for Crystal, and they try and collapse on Dandy. It's a good call, but look at Pawn. He flashes over, takes the Q. That saves him once. Then the shield saves him through the kick. And he's able to escape. Mata as well, he saves the exhaust until Crystal flashes over the wall for the chase.
And if you're actually looking at the minimap, you could see Fabulous up in the top lane. He wanted to teleport down, but because Alistar was still in the lane and could just interrupt him every single time, he had to run back to his own tower. And by the time he was at the tower, it was too late. The fight was already over. He couldn't teleport down. Looper did instead. Managed to pick up another kill and also get the tower.
Poor Lupa, that Trinity Force is done, and he goes straight in there onto Fabulous as he's clearing out the ward. Just the headbutt will send him packing back off to that turret. He's going to go home, probably finish up that Rod of Ages here. So that can start itself stacking. And Dark Passage here, of course, took Dragon number 1. They're going to go for it. TP coming down from Fabulous. Can Samsung White stop them? No, I think they can here. Imps coming around the side. There's a Phosphorus moment to touch. Crystal super low. Ulti comes out and touch, but Pawn in the back here is going to be wreaking havoc. They finally get rid of him. Naru trying his best, but he'll be surrounded by 3 men. Jump over the wall. Dandy will pick that one up, and Imp is still going here from the side. He's got a lot of damage to come from that next Phosphorus bomb. There is a kill with the auto attack. This is going to be an ace for Samsung White, surely. Holyphoenix tries to get away, but Dandy chases with the red buff, will finish it off.
And Dark Passage, they knew that to just try and go for this dragon here, but look at the items for Samsung White. You have Trinity Force completed on Corki, so strong. Of course, the Z pick got a brutalizer as well. Like every single member from Samsung White had just been back to buy, and even though there was no teleport from Looper, they could win it.
Yeah, that was the idea. They want to try and take advantage of their window where they could possibly have a 4 versus 5 and rush down the dragon, but the 4 members of Samsung too strong. Chase them off, plus they get the dragon in the end.
Touch coming in there. Just trying to disrupt them somewhat, get a bit more vision down there, but all just a little bit too late. Let's watch that one again.
So first of all, Dark Passage already taking a lot of damage from the dragon itself. Im comes in with the Trinity Force, and Pawn is just running around them in the middle of the fight. All the attention from Dark Passage onto him, so Imp can just do whatever he wants. Naru said just a little bit too close to the wall, and he tried to jump over.
Yeah, Imp with the Trinity Force and the Janna shields right now, they're almost maxed out. This is a huge point for him. You could tell just the damage he was dumping out over there. Dandy does end up cleaning up the last kill as well.
So that leaves Samsung White 12-0 up in kills. Over a 10,000 gold lead in place for them now as well. Still, 3 towers have gone down. All of the outer ring is dead here. If we look down some of those items, Zed, Pickaxe, Brutalizer, that Hex Drinker, and the Cutlass from earlier on. Sorcerer Shoes are in there for Imp. Got himself a Vamp Scepter as well, and there's still no Trinity Force on Holyphoenix. That's how far behind he is currently. If you look over towards Naru as well, got his Arm Guard and the Sheen, so split in between 2 items there.
We still have to give credit to Dark Passage. If we go back to like the start of the laning phase, in every single lane, they played aggressive. They tried to go for the fights. Up in the top lane here, Fabulous was controlling Looper. Bottom lane, we saw a lot of action between Touch and Holyphoenix. Sadly enough, as they didn't get any kills early on, they never really managed to get a lead and just fell further and further behind.
Yeah, right now, you know, they've got this ridiculously strong Zed split pushing up there. Nobody can even get to the turret to try and defend. Woo!
Flash from Crystal back into the base. Had to use that one, otherwise it would have been curtains for him. That turret is going to go down. I actually mentioned, how do they stop Pawn here, who's 2-0-3, 60 CS ahead of his lane opponent, and they're just going to go straight through onto this one. Got a few minions with them, and there is a flash in from Looper. They're going out towards Fabulous. He gets blown up instantly. Touch there at the front, trying to block out as much damage as he can, but Samsung White have done enough for the inhibitor turret and the inhibitor. 18 minutes and 50 into this one. You're going to be seeing the first inhib of the game going down.
Yeah, that one's definitely going down, and they very well could swing. Oh, never mind.
He's dead.
They might just finish the game here.
Yeah, looking maybe for an under 20-minute victory, which, you know, they lost that one dragon here to stop the perfect game, if you like, but they've not given up a kill, they've not given up a turret, and they're looking to finish this one off here as quickly as they possibly can. We do have Fabulous back in. Crystal will be up in 5 seconds time as well. Oh, big burst. There is Looper diving in. They're going to go straight on top of this one. Touch falling low. There's a dive into the bottom.
Oh, can they get him?
He survives with the monsoon. Unstoppable. They finish him off. Holyphoenix gets the kill there for Dark Passage. The fish didn't connect, but they've kicked Samsung White out of the base.
And they managed to defend the base. They didn't actually lose under 20 minutes here. Samsung White, they were pushing up. Greedy play. Wanted to go for some more kills and then try and finish the game. Dark Passage respond. Get a kill onto Dandy.
So, big lead here for Samsung White. I think we expected it deep down that this was going to be the case. Dark Passage, though, picking up that kill. Holyphoenix will be happy about that one. Still, however, not got a Trinity Force. Imp has now added in another BF, so the last Whisper was done after that push by Pawn. Hydra for Dandy as well, so terrifying team that they're up against. I mean, they're pretty far behind, 50,000 gold here.
They could... No, I mean, you could try and go for the Baron here, but it would be complete suicide, of course. But for Dark Passage, it's just cool also to see the players after the games. They're actually still fairly happy because they know they are the complete underdogs in these fights here, on these games. They just want to try and learn.
Andy actually fighting on his own there. Crystal comes diving in and then back out to the ward. Bit of showmanship here as the Howling Gale comes in. Looper gonna pop his ultimate. He's underneath the turret, but he's a big, beefy Alistar with that ultimate going. The double kill comes down for Pawn. Fabulous is gonna explode, and now they're on towards Touch. Dandy will flash in for that one. We've got him going towards Holyphoenix. Goes down. The phosphorus bomb is not enough. Dandy's gonna jump there into it. They kill off the game though, and that will be another victory here for Samsung White.
Still, though, 2 kills for Holyphoenix in the very end. And killing Imp and Dandy, it's not too bad.
I mean, that was a valiant effort from Dark Passage.
They tried in the early game. We talked about how they had to be aggressive in lane, try and just all in like the first few minutes and see if they could manage to get a kill. Bottom lane tried, top lane tried. It didn't pay off. I mean, it happens. And obviously Samsung White are the stronger team.
Also, they did make a good choice in the early game. Even though Fabulous got camped up top, the second time they went for him, they took a dragon in exchange. So at least they got something out of it.
And I respect Dark Passage a lot here coming into this one. A lot of us were speculating, are they going to go with something completely outrageous tactically and from the picks? They didn't. They picked champions that they thought they could do well on in this game, and they tried to win the game, I'd say, in a standard fashion. Obviously, you're up against what could be the strongest team in the world right now, as a team coming from a country which is, I think we can safely say, just really getting started and, you know, building up to these big teams, powerhouse teams. And it's valuable experience for Dark Passage.
And it's also just fantastic to see like the Turkish community, how many fans are actually there to support Dark Passage. How Dark Passage already picked up. They have a gaming house, I believe. There are a few other teams in Turkey who got gaming houses now. So the whole scene is evolving. And again, this is just representing your region and learn as much as possible. Take it back for next season and then use it. And then the rest of the teams can pick it up. And suddenly everyone slowly becomes better and better.
And that's, I think, the only way that your region can get better, by sending the teams out there, which, for me, why it's so important that we have these international wildcard teams in here to, you know, maybe not win a lot of games, maybe not win any games, but get the experience to take home.
Exactly. Accelerate the growth of that region and get them some of the experience.
Yeah.